All right, welcome back again. As we continue in our interpretation and result and discussion, don't forget that we also computed one-way ANOVA for our for the two diseases. So looking at the table of this look at this ANOVA table, we have between groups and within groups, sum of square, degree of freedom, mean square, F, and p-value. So we can briefly actually explain these things, these values. All right. Maybe you can round off uh, the value to two decimal places. That should be okay. I just put the total value there, so you can do that for those decimal values. Just round up to two or three decimal place should be fine. All right. So the one we are not far result for comparing the anatomical facial features between the fragile X and the and the Williams Buren is this is showing the table as we are seeing here. Now the F value actually you can see that the F value of 5.026 indicates the ratio of the variance between the groups, that is to say between Fragile X syndrome and Williams Buren, to the variance within the groups. Okay, it's the variance between the groups and to the variance within the groups. Right. This value suggests that there is a significant difference in the anatomical facial features between the two groups. That's what it means. All right. So that is very simple to understand. And looking at the p-value, of course, is significant at 0.026 or 0.227 approximately, which is less than the conventional threshold of 0.05, indicating that the differences observed in the facial features between the two groups are statistically significant. This means there is a low probability of 2.68%. That's what it means. That the observed differences are due to random chance. Okay, and if you look at the sum of square and the mean square, the sum of square between groups, which is 0.015 now, 8 or 9, you can approximate, represent the variation due to the differences between the groups. All right. Now, why the sum of squares within the groups? Okay, 0.373 approximation, you can leave it like that, represent the variation within the group, within each group. All right, within the group and within each group. So the mean square is obtained by dividing the sum of squares by the respective degrees of freedom, providing a measure of variance. All right. So that is what we observe here. We're looking at the between groups variance now. The relatively higher mean square between groups, which is 0.158 now, compared to the mean square within the groups, okay, 0.00316, indicates that the variability in the facial features is more pronounced between the two syndromes than within each syndrome group. All right, that is what that one is just telling us. And you can further discuss maybe briefly about the under significant difference now. Okay, feature of the facial feature which you just mentioned now. You can now maybe further discuss or conclude. Like, looking at the one-way ANOVA, which the result we are seeing now indicates a statistical significant difference in the anatomical facial features between individuals with Fragile X syndrome and those with Williams Buren syndrome. The significant p-value of 0.0268 suggests that the facial feature selected for the analysis can effectively distinguish between the two groups or two conditions. This finding is crucial as it underscores the potential of using facial morphometrics analysis as a diagnostic tool or a supplementary method for distinguishing between these syndromes. All right. Now the clinical implications is that the result can have significant implications for clinical practice and research. Clinicians could utilize the identified facial features to aid in the differential diagnosis of these syndromes. potentially leading to more accurate and early diagnosis. Furthermore, researchers could build on these findings to explore more about the genetic and developmental differences underlying these distinct facial characteristics. Okay, so you can may have some limitations as well, probably future research. Why the ANOVA results are promising, looking at the result now, it is important to consider also the potential limitations. The sample size and the specific facial feature selected for the analysis could influence the findings. Future research should aim to validate this result with larger, more diverse populations and investigate additional facial features. Probably that may be too, for me, that facial feature is too small actually to capture some things that are not captured, especially in the eyes region. Okay, so moreover, integrating other diagnostic methods such as genetic testing, neurodevelopmental assessment could provide a more comprehensive understanding of these syndromes. Okay, so these are just uh, what we can observe. We can conclude briefly by saying one way or another analysis reveals a statistically significant difference in the anatomical features between individuals with Fragile X syndrome and those with Williams-Billings syndrome. The finding highlights the potential utility of facial morphometric analysis in differentiating between these two genetic conditions. Further research with larger sample size and additional features is warranted to confirm these results and enhance their clinical applicability. So this can be just a brief conclusion for this. All right. So and recommendation. So that is that for that. So we can see that this is just a very brief interpretation and significance of the facial difference and also conclusion. You can further read online, look at other articles on this area who has explored the two, probably the two diseases at the same time. Look at what they are saying. Look at what the result they got, especially clinically. Okay, so that you can also compare your work to the work what they have done so far. Maybe can be some inference and balancing. So thank you so much for listening. I will see us in the next class. All right, thank you.